Barney is the security guard who guards Black Mesa corridors, who guards everything in the facility. Since there was limitations by the engine and everything in between the past, since you can't just include as many characters as you want as security guards, everyone was called Barney Calhoun. Well, mostly Barney. And pretty much all security guards were called Barney. But, canonically, Barney Calhoun is the first security guard you meet as Gordon Freeman. As Gormont Fremont, you meet Barney at that door as you ride the tram at 8:47 a.m. Current topside temperature is nuclear explosion. That is where you first meet Barney. And you cannot, and from just that, we can say that Barney is a coward. Thank you for coming to the stream. And yeah, you meet Barney there. Nothing really is understood from anything. It's like, okay, that's just another security guard, but it's not just another security. Barney is a friend of Gormont Fremont. All right, note that in your notebook. Put it as a check mark. Yes, check mark him. Create Barney, yes, the special check mark in your little notebook dictionary, yes. And we shouldn't really talk about Half-Life 1 throughout Ruin. We should talk about Blue Shift, Half-Life Blue Shift, where you have the journey of Barney. He's just a security guard. He's trying to do his job from 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock to 12 to 10. So you have an insane long shift, which many of you, I would advise to never take. You want to go on a shift for 12 hours? You out of your mind? What you gonna do? 12 hours shift, 2 hours commute? What's left for you? To take a bath and your day's over? Don't take 12-hour shift unless you don't have choice. Do you not have choice? Is that the case? I don't think so. Okay, let me just check some. By the way, is everything alright before we proceed? I should have checked that beforehand. Oh, Chad, is everything alright? Alright, seems alright. You know what perfect means? Perfect! Blue Shift. Spoiler alert, Resonance Cascade happens. If you don't know that, do you have like fun? Or you just surface fun? A little bit. Or you say you're fun, but you've never played Half-Life. How are you supposed to be a fan of Half-Life if you've never played Half-Life? That never made sense to me. It's like, duh! Obviously, right? Let me drink some tea and we will proceed. So Barney tries to do his job, but the Resonance Cascade happened and everything goes to the shitter. You know, the shitter, that's the toilet, right? And now he has to survive. Just by that alone, we cannot say, oh, he's afraid, he doesn't want to fight aliens. Would you fight the aliens? Would you face them on and think you above everything else? Of course he's gonna be a kind of a coward and just run and try and save his life, but hey, that is pretty much this is pretty much what instinctively everybody would do, especially that annoying little scientist called Rosenberg. Oh, Calhoun, come stop it, Calhoun, I am old and frail, Calhoun. Oh, I must go through teleporter first, because I am old. Priority to elderly, Calhoun. Next to me, you should have been older. Barney's a coward because he hides from combine snipers during CT-17 uprising. He run away lots during Black Mesa incident. He runs a lot during the Black Mesa incident. That is one of the points, definitely. But as we said, we cannot pinpoint cowardice on him since everybody else is doing the same. Even Gordon Freeman is trying to survive. Yet, he fights. He goes to the Lambda complex. He defeats evil baby monster. He saves the day, alright? Nevertheless, chat. This doesn't prove. Barney escapes Black Mesa facility with the hope of a strong alpha scientists. They manage to escape. And now, through the 7-hour war, and pretty much through the calamity on Earth and the 7-hour war, we don't exactly know what's happening with Barney, do we? We are not sure what exactly happens. What we do know is that he is part of the resistance, obviously. Right? He owns Gordon Freeman a beer. For me, that is minus points and in a way is bonus points for cowardice. Since you cannot just tell somebody you're gonna give them beer and 20 years later joke them again that you're gonna give them beer. What the fuck is your problem? And get a hang of yourself. Why? Why would you do that? Do not promise things you cannot deliver or tease. Or maybe he's doing it on purpose. Maybe Barney is evil within by promising that magnificent beer which doesn't even exist anymore in this world, since the Combine, they drank all the bottles, they destroyed all the taverns, and they made it impossible to make more. Beer gone. Beer is gone. Beer is nigh. Beer is null. And Barney says to Gordon about that beer I owed you, it is not fair on this part. It is not fair. It is the definition of unfair. Unfairness at maximum capacity. Nevertheless, we still can't pinpoint him for that. Now, Barney saves Freeman from getting to Nova Prospect, although maybe that was the initial plan anyways, for him to go to Nova Prospect. Maybe Gordon would have made way more destruction, maybe not. Not really sure. But he does manage to save him, yet he doesn't exactly steer him in the right direction, which causes, Gordon to be chased by Combine soldiers, nearly bloody killed because he doesn't have the HEV suit. And finally, he gets to the lab on his bloody own, saved by Alyx fans. Barney, in the meantime, is like, yes, I hope he dies so I wouldn't have to take responsibility. Maybe, or maybe not. Now, after that, we know that things go to hell. Things are disrupted on Earth, especially when Alyx and Gordon go to Nova Prospect and cause a bunch of insanity to just pretty much rebellion in the city. City 17 has been engulfed, enraptured, pretty much wobbled with chaos, which is pretty negative. Barney is seen as a general, as a person who's leading the people towards the Citadel, towards destroying the status quo of downtroddenness and misery. He is the spear in the darkness which lights up the path. That is what we see him as. And of course, leading the charge, he gets pinned down by sniperinos. He gets wrecked and shreked by Combine snipers, and he is now stuck. So who saves the day? As Barney cowers? Because come on, everybody would cower. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it just happened. Gordon Freeman saves the day, and Barney continues to lead the charge with Freeman in crowbar in hand. The rest is known. They keep pushing, they keep destroying, and the last time we see Barney in Half-Life 2 is when Doc opens up the barrier. And Barney says, if you see Dr. Breen, I'm sorry, I wouldn't go myself to tell him that. Tell him I said, I scream for you, B. Because saved, I said myself. Now, why didn't Barney join Freeman in the assault of the Citadel? Why did he decide to stay away and just why did the whole resistance let Gordon Freeman alone to assault the Citadel? What the F and F is that kind of logic? Alright everybody, we fought this far, let's just let Gordon Freeman through so he can assault the Citadel on his own. I am so awesome. Do you want to include logic into the pile? Go F yourself with your logic and make yourself a little fire where you can burn it down. Will you just destroy Combine around Citadel? And it is like medieval castle. We will lay siege to medieval castle and wait as Gordon Fremont saves the day. Yes, yes, yes. The hell is that logic? You're assaulting the Combine? Why would they leave just Freeman to assault the Citadel? For me, that is kind of irresponsible, but maybe logistically, it is the right thing to do because there are still outposts, there are still major hives of Combine resistance around the Citadel and not within. And yet, what does it really matter since the main headquarters is the blasted Citadel? You're going to destroy the little hives around the Citadel. It's not going to fix the fact you're going to get bombarded with artillery, gunshipped, helicoptered, everything aerial, and yet, not aerial is like flying. It doesn't exclude anything. You are totally screwed. Anyways, that's how it is though. So, okay, Barney, as everybody else, decides to go for, attack out of Citadels. He's leading the charge, was leading the charge. Now Freeman is leading the charge. It's like Freeman comes and he takes all the credit, takes all the honor, takes everything from Barney. Now, episode 1. Half-Life 2. Episode 1. Dos. 1. 1. 1. Yeah. Meet Barney as you try and flee the city. Barney gives you a crowbar and tells you, you should go to the hospital so you would put the attention away from us so we can flee. Keyword here is flee. He wants to flee. He wants to protect as many citizens though. By fleeing, he protects these citizens from certain harm, certain doom. This certain doom will be smacked on their heads one way or another. So if Gordon Freeman and Alyx can just go somewhere else to put the attention of the Combine there and not the citizens, this stonks for everybody. And as they flee, they go towards the train station, which is the evacuation point for the whole city. And from there comes my issue of why this stream is titled Barney a Coward. Again, the same thing happens where Gordon and Alyx, you stay behind, and we will just we'll run, we'll flee. You want some help? No, Barney, we'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. And Barney escapes the city with the many packs and many citizens on board. This train does not get sabotaged after the Citadel makes kaboom. This train keeps on chugging towards an unknown destination. This train keeps on route and does not stop. My problem here is that why on earth, you get me? What happened to Barney? Everything he's doing is to try and protect people. Of course, we do not know the ulterior motive, right? Everything in a way, pretty much most of what he does, explosion, and I have to stop the fire from spreading everywhere around. Siri says, in the end of episode 1, his train may be crashed somewhere, but outside City 17. So we can safely assume that he's still alive. Siri, that is what I disagree with. They left the city way earlier, so the chances of the train derailing are way goddamn smaller. I think they escaped City 17 with the train and went far away from who knows where. My problem is that when they ran away with the trains, we've never heard about Barney trying to come and protect White Forest. You know, the White Forest is the bunker base with the nuke. Yeah, no, any kind of mention is made for them. No attempt of communication. It was just up to the Lambda resistance at White Forest to try and protect the silo so they can send a nuke and stop this attempted communication message to be sent to the Combine overworld through the destroyed Citadel. No attempt was made on their part. And that in a way begs the question, did he decide to screw it all and make a new life far away from the Combine, far away from the resistance, with whatever kind of pockets of life he managed with the help of Gordon Fremont and Alyx to save? That is the question that needs an answer. And right now, I'm gonna give it to you. Let me check some. No more questions. We have magic happened. Barney is coward. This is it. No question. Here's where I see the gaps, though, in saying that he's a coward because he didn't try and come back to defend White Forest. First of all, what is White Forest? Chat, can you tell me? What is White Forest? Is it a settlement? Is it not just a settlement? Or is it a base of operations? Is it a place where people live? Or a place where it is like an outpost through which attacks can be made on the Combine? Since White Forest is established to be an outpost for military operations, this isn't where people live. This isn't where civilians bloody put their asses and heads to sleep at. This outpost is meant for military purposes. It is meant for attacks on the Combine. It is meant to be a logistical place from where attacks would be executed. Which means there is a place out there where the civilians are living at, where the rebellion fire is being held in safety. A place where we don't know where it is because it's being kept safe. But now I'm just explaining about White Forest and why it's just a military base, and that the civilians of City 17, or the rebels, just the rebels, are living somewhere else towards where Barney is potentially also headed. And this place must be kept in secret, because if everybody knew the civilian place like that, it would be just another goddamn Ravenholm. You think Ravenholm wasn't just a rebel city where rebellion, festered? That is why they pretty much nuked it with head crabs. That is why they turned Ravenholm into Grigoriholm. Exactly, into insanity, which was drenching from people's mouths. Right? So the rebels don't want to have another Ravenholm. Right? And this place where civilians live is another city or another village, far, far away from any kind of Combine oversight. And Barney is most likely leading all these civilians from the evacuation of City 17 towards this safety. And that is why he never came back to Episode 2 to try and protect White Forest, because him coming back pretty much defeats the purpose of leading these civilians to safety, giving them hope, giving them protection. Barney is a protector. So in this potential cowardice, no, we cannot say that he's a coward. We can say that he's a strong character with set goals and missions to push the flame of survival for the human species. We can go back to Black Mesa, where he fought through trash just to survive with the annoying piece of Rosenberg. But nevertheless, he always did it for his own sake, and then for the sake of humanity. This isn't we're not gonna thrash him around, but it is also a good question to ask, because his absence begs the question to be asked, alright? You can't just escape and never come back to help out, alright? Unless there is something greater than protecting White Forest, unless there are settlements, villages, people in need of protection, for which Barney is that shield, alright? That is how I put the case of Barney. Is he a coward? I personally don't think so. Chat, do you think otherwise? Share so! Now I turn yet.